and then the next. Yeah, thank you. In a nutshell, getting involved in these innovative projects will be centered around the Institute of Business Development, as it were, because they are the ideas generator. They are also very great inspirers, and being that the projects are now becoming Pan-African projects, because we are currently also we are already working with other African tech specialists to ensure that at least these projects start off works for Nigeria, it should work for other African countries, because Nigeria happens to be leading in these areas of the project implementations at this stage. And for it to be practicable, we have more dynamic problems than majority of African countries, like it or not. And as far as business is concerned and business development is concerned, we happen to also be at the frontier of making these projects to be very much impactful in across the industries that are concerned, and then to be able to generate the right impact that we need and make a turnaround for our national development, as it were. Thank you very much. So are there any questions? Any questions, please? Take.
Okay. Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, my question is about the multiple skills, trade and skills for the youth. But when we are growing up, we used to hear jack of all trades, master of none. So how do you reconcile with that? On the other side, when you talk on the caregiver, which is usually at the tail end of a life, the build-up from youth to the middle age, they are supposed to have a kind of policy for the health care of that. I know that in some of the developed countries, they do have that. They do monitor their population. For every child, it has its own weight. Once you go beyond that, then you go straight to the hospital. And I know even of recent, US was even talking about granting visas. You are obese, you will not be granted. Thank you.
Thank you. So for the first question, you said how we relate jack of all trades, master of none to this idea of 3 to 5 skills. So it would have been better if maybe indirectly, let me twist it, it could be a suggestion though, to maybe speak your mind. Would it rather be better that they have one skill or less than 3 skills? And why are we saying 3 to 5? There are reasons for that. We know about competition. Before we talk of competition, let's talk about our economy and why 3 to 5 skills are necessary. There's a reason for that. If an average or a youth have 3 to 5 skills and has the mindset to learn 3 to 5 skills, there's a chance that they will be good, not necessarily with the 5 skills entirely. They may end up settling for 3 or 2 that they are very strong at. If they go for one there's a high chance that due to the evolving trends and change of certain trends in the market, some skills may be trending at one particular period, and their accessibility to really doing things and also earning and living their life on that trade may not also be successful, so they can switch. That's the essence of having 3 to 5, because we know our people. But if they have ability to have those 5 skills, they can do more. Not necessarily just themselves working. They can also create opportunity for other young ones to come in and learn. That's for 3 to 5. Because where they settle, we can't tell. But they should have it culture. We should have it as a culture to have our young ones to embrace skill acquisition very early. After secondary school, I've spoken to a lot of parents. Many of them, there was one I saw, she would just say, this one, look at it. She had 5 children around her. She was selling food in front of the university. And you see one of the child was pressing phone. The other ones was making noise in the car. She's selling food. So when we spoke to her during our research and all that, she was complaining that look at them, this one is grown, he's even 18, he'll be looking at phone, pressing it. I had to just encourage her. The other one, she wants him to learn tailor because he talks too much, he doesn't understand, but she's selling food. What will be making her to sell food? Though on that day, I did ask her about her husband or her the family, but I can tell from the look of things, it's not also okay. It's like the family is depending on just that business, which is not okay. The children, she was very, very bitter that they have not known any skill. And the security issues in the country, even finance, for them to go and learn trade, to be taught this and taught that, is also not there. We had a talk with the financial people, AROM, today. I just didn't want to say one or two. Accessing funds may not be so easy. And it's because of the bureaucratic nature of our financial systems. It should be revisited. Otherwise, let such training be sponsored. It will ease the tension, and it also gives leverage on these parents for these children to really see the need to learn such skills. If they cannot access it, we can't even achieve those dreams collectively. That is it. As for the elderly people, if I remember your question very vividly, or maybe you remind me about the question for the elderly, sorry.
The second part of the question is, it's like the concentration is only on the aged.
Okay.
Which is a kind of, segregation.
Okay.
Because for a nation that commits a lot of resources, would like to see, because we are talking about economic development finally.
Yes.
So you must have a healthy youth. You should have also a healthy middle-aged man. You understand me? Before you get to the age. The age is being taken care of with a package. You understand me?
Yes.
So you have to manage the development from the beginning to the last point.
I get it.
Because if you don't do that, you hardly see, though it could be like a pyramid. By the time you get to 65, you find that you are only 5% of the population.
That's correct.
So what is wrong in getting maybe like 10 or 15% of the population?
I agree with you.
Is also a hand. So that's what I'm trying to say. Thank you.
I agree with you. So there are certain edges of this that I didn't mention in the presentation. For example, there's actually a vision to see that at least one home, every home in Nigeria has one healthcare person. It must not be a nurse, must not be a doctor. It has to be a healthcare person. It has been factored as some of the vision for the caregiver project. The reason for that is there are so many orientational materials and initiatives to actually educate, keep them aware. It's a hub. For example, I'll give you one. When that network was set up, and the network identifies, NIDA is not here now, and the network identifies every caregiver. The caregiver covers care providers, right from level 1 to level 7. Even those that are taking care of homes like house help, they are also factored as level 1. There are those that went for the training anywhere. But before they get into the system, they need to be evaluated so that they get a certain standard of conduct and awareness of what the role is all about for level 2. Level 3 is something higher than level 2, right? But level 4 is where the nurses starts, those that require licenses. So as they go higher, they are supervising the activities of the other ones, but they are carrying them along as the system has already been designed in such a way that they are scheduled time for certain developmental and training that goes across them. And this is not just virtual. This is at their community level, whereby if they register at that community level, the person who is in level 1, level 2, level 3, everybody is caring for the elderly people in that location. No cross community, so that we can all know each other because of security matters. So those that would need such service could be here in the country. Otherwise, they could be children of those abroad. But their details have to also go through the system so that we know who is needing the care. And whoever is providing it lives within that community. So there's that growth for them to really harness the understanding of healthcare and then be able to also share those information, awareness with those people in that community. There are different strategies we are using for that. So talk about why not the younger ones and why the old ones, because the youth have to be very okay and fine. Yes, we didn't factor it for this project. Community concierge care is specifically for the area we know we are lacking. For the young ones, we don't want them to get this kind of privileges. For example, if you send somebody to go and take care of their elderly, or you're sending people home, caregiver home, to go and take care of the young, they will be lazy to come to the hospital to see doctors. It's not stressful for them at all. Then the hospital, the position they occupy in caring for people will be disregarded. But majority of the care you are giving for elderlies cannot be given to elderlies in the hospital. And we're having a challenge that the elderlies don't want to go to care homes because they will feel abandoned. That's the essence for the community concierge care service idea. So it's not necessarily to favor, not favor the young. It's because it's a strategy to care for the elderly, make them more inclusive in the healthcare. And they are being cared for by the young in such a way that the young are well enlightened about the needs of the elderly. They will definitely still get to that stage. Go ahead.
Whereby in those socially countries you see virtually all the hospitals is owned by the government.
Yes.
So government must try to control its resources.
Yes.
So is you see a youth of so height and is overweight. And you know what overweight means,
Yes.
where it will lead you to. So if there is a regulation, because I know of a country, they normally bring those weighing machines. You climb, they will knock at your door. Once they see that you are highly above that, they'll say, okay, next time we come, you should do something about it.
No, it's inclusive.
Because at the end, finally, the burden will go back to government.
Yes, yes. It's inclusive. But
So that is that. We
yes,
must have that
I
thing.
agree with what
But
you are
it-
saying. We have it. Yes, we have it in this project. The issue is that we don't want to make it to be open to them. Yes, if they see any abnormalities with their level of exposure to healthcare, they should be able to spot danger. Okay? And probably even speak with the person and like, don't you even need to probably see a doctor or so? They can redirect them. But to care for them, I know my Nigerians, they will turn the caregiver to a doctor. They will turn the caregiver to a doctor automatically. They will even entice them with money. Prescribe for me. There are so many policies in place because anybody that's been sent anywhere is a feedback measure. And in this case, even the relative that probably sponsors these services are getting feedbacks as the visits are coming. Let me give you an example how we design visits. We have level 1 to 7, right? Under normal circumstances, if we have 40 years of elderlies, those that don't have much challenge, they just need companionship. There are some that have challenges, BP, diabetes, and they are probably limping. They need some care. There's no medical emergency around them. They don't have any special treatment, or they just did surgery. So this category of people, I can tell you, from level 1 of caregivers to level 3, supervised by level 4, can take care of them. So when that is the case, we now start talking about how do they take care of. So for level 1 person, the person needs companions. So we have caregivers that are deployed to them from time to time. So they will have to define, is it every 2 days? If it every one day, then they will have the ones that are deployed to check their vitals from time to time. And those that also check their prescriptions or drugs they are on, relating with their hospitals. Nobody is saying you shouldn't use hospital. In fact, we should know your doctor. We should know that we are the ones visiting you at home. And letting them know there's a challenge. Or you prescribe 2 tablets. This woman is taking 1. Let's confirm if it's 1 you prescribed. Then the hospital will do that. Once they confirm, we are now assisting the hospital because we are visiting them at home to ensure that compliance is maintained. Okay? In the regard of those that needs maybe medical attention, they are not so, they need a lot of support. Yes, the one that stays with them at home is there, but we don't allow one person because security issues. We have the ones that come daytime, the ones that will come at night. You can never leave a patient or a client with just one person. No, it's dangerous. Men, we have heard so many stories. Some will run away with their diaries, especially elderly people that don't have relatives living with them. Some can even attack them because probably there's no security, nobody, no surveillance, which is not what we have. So we factored all those surveillance issues, identity. In fact, before they arrive to any client, we would have scrutinized. So when it comes to any client needing anything, as long as the registration is complete, it's not one day, then we are satisfied. We know this person to whom, then we can deploy anybody to you because we don't know if you're a kidnapper or anything. It's because of the situation we find ourselves. Then, concerning those that may need medical attention that are much more serious, yes, we can deploy the nurses to follow up with them. It's not the level, nurses are level 4. It's different from level 3 that will just check vitals. Nurses will do monthly reviews of their care. There are nurses that are trained that are called geriatric nurses. So those ones are trained to take care of elderly. They have more ideas about certain abnormalities before the doctors are also involved or not. So if their hospital is known during their registration period, it's also easy to call the hospital for any emergency cases that may turn to or they project that this one may turn to emergency from their own observation, and then the hospital will take it from there. I hope that answers your question. Any other question? Okay, go ahead. I hope, my friend, you are not clapping because you want us to go. I think I marked your face. Okay, wonderful.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Brief one, very quick. Thank you so much, Doctor, for that wonderful delivery.
All right, sir.
Yeah, since the concentration is more or less is very much on the aged ones, the senior citizens.
Let me correct, sorry sir, let me correct one notion. Community concierge care was designed for the elderly, but there are a lot of things that the platform does for care in general, especially the awareness, the carriage of information, and certain discussions that cannot even come to air. I'll give you some discussions that has to do with the practical and clinical challenges. We have seen doctors, we have seen professors, they say, okay, children rate of autism that's growing now in Nigeria, nobody knows the cause. They are attributing it to vaccines that are imported. Some will say others. But clinicians are thinking in a different line. For example, we have the likes of obstetricians and gynecologists, those that take care of women. They think that if a woman should deliver either through the normal way or assisted by surgery, cesarean section, then there should be the cause or the indications for that. But pediatricians will think differently. Because if the obstetrician and gynecologist don't see the need for a woman to go and do surgery, they will make sure the woman give birth normally. The good ones, I'm not speaking for everybody, but I do not advocate for all cases of delivery to be what? CS. There are practices that doesn't need to be identified with it, except it's very necessary. We also know that some clients just want to advocate for CS and that's it. But pediatricians will say there are some cases that shouldn't give birth normally, no matter how it is. Why? Because there's a compression. You know, the child that you want to deliver normally will turn, the head is upside down. Mm-hmm. So where there is a compression and that compression lingers, especially when the a birth canal, there is what we call engagement. The head has gotten into the inlet now and it's there, it's not yet delivered, because wherever the gateway is still closed. So the head is meeting that layer, or rather that floor, and the head is resting there probably for days. The woman has not started having labor. So that compression effect they are talking about could lead to some certain deficiencies that will now come up as neurological deficits that they can now factor as an autism spectrum. Because autism is not one defect. It's multiple defects, but they are all originating from the nervous system. I hope that's clear. Yes, so certain discussions like that cannot come on air because, but these are discussions that are in-house.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, you know, the public health delivery system is majorly being coordinated by the government. Now, HMOs are also at the forefront of managing some health systems.
HMOs?
Yes.
Those are third parties, yes.
Yes. Now, you've not mentioned anything that has to do with HMOs here now. So, would there going to be any difference if this initiative is being brought into HMOs to manage?
Of course. Of course. We need all, it's a platform, it's a system that welcomes it all. HMOs are more like financial third party, the way we reason it. You can't pay, your employer pays ahead for you. It could be your private employer or your government employer, a package. It's a package, you have to choose your package. And then if they are able to fund it, then it reduces the burden for that care service to be provided for you. That's what HMOs. So they are welcome to come in, of course. And government sponsorships and supports, those are things that are going to be very, very basic. Very, very basic. And at least for philanthropists and the rest, they also have now directions, especially with the skill acquisition. They can define certain communities they want to empower and leave it in the hands of that platform to carry out those analyses. We have collaborated with Tibet, which is technical and vocational education for some states. Even GIZ, I personally reviewed some of the policies they have, ongoing for some states. So like that, although we are doing it hand in hand, but they have their own project that they are covering because GIZ is not, is a foreign organization. But we are more invested in how we make our own system to work. In that regard, we are more defining it towards the community, the world directly. So if you need to train anybody in that specific space, it should be very peculiar to what that environment or community can benefit from. That is it. Any questions, please? Okay. The platforms they are existing. You can check them out. Okay. And any other details, whatever, will be through the IBD platform as well, which is already clear. Any other question? Who? Okay, sir.
Dr. Lawson, thank you so much for this wonderful presentation. I didn't even know you're a medical doctor. But it says it all when you spoke. So you are talking about a topic that concerns me personally, you know. You're talking about the senior citizens, which I'm one of them. So this is touching home, you know, if you know what I'm talking about. Um, you said senior citizens are not factored into our own health care. You're talking about Nigeria, right? Okay. And we know the common diseases that are incurred by senior citizens, diabetic, you know, cholesterol, high blood pressure, things like that, you know. So um, in the US, most of these senior citizens are provided with a card called Medicare card, you know. And what it does is that is give them the leverage to go to any hospital to be treated, either for medicine or for treatment, whatever it is, that card will pay for it. And how they are able to do this card system is paying taxes. Whoever pays taxes from when he was young and all the way grown old, and then when you become old, you retire, and then you are enrolled into this healthcare system, you know, because of the taxes you've been paying. Whether you are working for the government or you're working for private sector, you always pay taxes, whether personal tax or whatever. So they will calculate all these years you've been working, and then based on that, that's how you get these benefits. So what I'm saying is that this Levitas, is it a product of IBD? Do we own it? And how are we financing it? You know, because this is a wonderful idea. This is IBD in action, you know. So we are not only doing the training and all, we are part and parcel of everything that we taught or we teach to people or to businesses or to entrepreneurs or to small scale enterprises and all. So we are actually leading the way. We are actually doing it ourselves. So is this something that we all part of it as far as IBD is concerned, or is this something that you want IBD to partake in it or buy the idea and move forward? But this is really, really wonderful, and we appreciate all the contributions you've made. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. The first question, or maybe I should answer the last to the first. Okay. So, concerning the role of IBD on the project, I mentioned earlier the spirit of business development itself, and then as an institution. In fact, those were what inspired the need to think outside the box. That is first of all. So, if we are to attribute certain portion or role for IBD to carry, it will be for it to hold us or hold these two platforms as its whole. That's the point at the end of the day. Because we had to test run the realistic applicability of these platforms. And IBD can actually do that with so much precision. Okay, so supporters of IBD can now come in once we have defined the areas we need them to come in order for these things to be implemented fully, and then for it to be widespread available and be put to use to solve these problems that we have talked about today. That is how we envision it. And concerning the healthcare for the elderly, if having card for those systems. So even the Level Test has custom project owners. In fact, that was supposed to be taken by any government or private or philanthropist to just get into the platform, define what they need at certain place, and then we'll carry out the process. The same way with the caregiver project, this community concierge care service. So the government, as far as it has to do with pension or pensioners, can also designate their own areas of contribution to those populations they want to identify. They can send the list and details of addresses of places that caregivers should be deployed to take care of their staff. It could be a private owned company that has maybe elderly people that are old employees, they can do the same. Then pension, in the sense that, okay, if we are paying pension, government is paying pension, they can add a bill to cater for the elderly at home using the platform as well. So you're not just paying them salary, you are giving them some part of palliative care through the platform. I hope that answers you. So whatever means to access those information or details or verify or identify with the users through card, through fingerprint, through devices, through access devices is not going to be an issue there. Okay? Any other questions? Sir, it's okay. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Please, let's give him a round of applause. He has done so well. And I'm also approaching that other age, and I'm even praying I should get there and relax. I've learned some things here. What will make me relax when I'm getting older? Because ordinarily I do not even plan to retire and stay in the city. I want to retire healthy, go to the village, start eating fresh pawpaw, and probably drinking palm wine on Friday nights. Ladies and gentlemen, we thank Dr. Lawson for that very detailed presentation. And right now we are going to be moving on to the next item on the program, which is lunch. Lunch is ready. Please let us quickly make it snappy. We can, is there any cards, sir? Lunch cards? Okay, please. All right. So we can quickly just move out to the table and get our lunch fixed. Thank you.